Hello everyone, Enzo from the future here. So Sayaka announced her graduation from MNL literally 3 hours after I recorded my episode for the Team Oshihen podcast. And right now, yeah, it's the day after and naluluha pa rin ako before I edit the video. I just want this message to be heard. So it's hard, yeah, I understand. Pero masaya si Sayaka, masaya ako para kay Sayaka, dapat tayong lahat masaya para kay Sayaka. Hello and welcome to the Team Oshihen podcast. I'm Enzo and this episode is about my MNL48 story. Basically how I became an MN love. And of course, there's also the story of why my moniker is Enzo of the North. First, let's start with my MNL story. I was already a fan of AKB48 since around 2011 or 2012, but a fan of the Japanese music scene for even longer. I was a fan of Baby Metal, Scandal, Overworld, Puffy, Joe Inoue, and even relatively niche groups like Otoboke Beaver. You get the point. I've been around the Japanese music scene for a while. So now, how did I become an MN love? I think it was around late 2016 to mid 2017. Around that time, it was still only creating an account and voting for whoever caught your eye. There were even some troll accounts who were like asking for votes and stuff, but literally troll accounts. I had a friend who signed up to become an aspirant, and needless to say, I would have already had an Oshi back then, or even a Kami Oshi. She was called in for the 200, but due to reasons, she had to back out. I lost interest in the whole MNL48 idea since somebody who I was close to and wanted to support wasn't there. That was until the aspirancy episodes on It's Showtime. At first, I didn't really have that much interest, but then I saw Sayaka. Yes, Sayaka, not Ash. I wasn't fished by Ash at first. Sayaka was cute, and she had something that I saw in my friend who also wanted to become an idol. She was determined and focused. But then, in another episode, Ash stood out for me. I couldn't explain it, and I still can't explain it to this day, but I saw the same of what I saw from Sayaka, but on a whole bigger scale. Ash was somebody to look out for. She was someone who had what it took to become an idol right off the bat. And then, let's be frank, she fished me from Sayaka right there and then. After that, I took a break from all things related to the idol scene. That break took way longer than I thought because after I came back, MNL48 had already officially debuted. After that break, I thought, why not check out on MNL48 again? I watched the music video for Aitakata and needless to say, I was happy that Ash was in the Senbatsu. I got fished again. I was just lurking in the fandom, checking in from time to time. Then I followed Ash on Instagram. I watched a few lives and noticed a pattern. She was fond of saying char or charot, which was funny to me because I have a lot of friends that do the same. And then randomly, I started counting how many times she said char or charot each Instagram live. After around 4 or 5 times, I'm not exactly sure, maybe even less, I quite literally became the char counter. So the Aitakata era ended, and then Pag-ibig Fortune Cookie started. It was released, so it was announced that the first day for the PFC Handshake events were scheduled literally a week after my birthday. I wanted to go. I needed to go. So I convinced my sister to get me one copy of both singles. If somehow I could go to that HSE, that would be the best gift ever. I won't go into detail, but that day was eventful. It was just so cool. Now I'm here, even more emotionally invested in MNL than any other idol group that I've followed, especially after recent events. Alright, now onto the questions people ask me every time they hear my moniker for the first time. Enzo of the North. Why is this guy, who is quite literally from the south of Manila, called of the North? Alright, number 1. Is this a Game of Thrones reference? No, it is not a Game of Thrones reference. If you ask me, I was of the North way before Game of Thrones became a hit. Okay, number 2. If it's not a Game of Thrones reference, where did the name come from? Alright, here's a story. Back in 2011, I had this tambayan called the North Lounge. I was just there on my phone, wasn't sure if my phone or laptop, that's whatever, I think it was phone. I was thinking of what I would use as an online presence, as my name on the internet. My Instagram account initially, just for the laughs. A friend of mine who was also a tambay of the North Lounge suggested Enzo of the North, since we were the inhabitants of the North Lounge. I liked the sound of it, and so that moniker has stuck. I've used it on and off, but I am, and forever will be, Enzo of the North. Alright, there is my story for how I became an MNL love. And, well, my moniker, Enzo of the North. How about you guys? The ones listening to this podcast, what's your MNL story? And thank you for listening. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and by all means, please share this video, share this channel, like and subscribe again. Follow our social media accounts, Team Oshihen, and that's at Oshihen Team on Twitter and facebook.com/Team Oshihen. Again, thank you very much for listening, and we want to hear your story as well. Again, this podcast is made for fans, by fans. We just want to interact, and we want to spread happiness to the fandom. That's why we're doing this. So, this is Enzo of the North, signing off for the episode. Have a good one.